You are listening to the Intuitive Healing Connection. Hi, my name is Gina Stroll, and I am your host. I am best known as the down-to-earth intuitive healer that doesn't sugarcoat the truth. I walk my clients through the healing process and help them heal from their past so that they can find peace and joy again. If you are interested in healing your past, tapping into your spiritual side to receive your own answers, finding your own clarity, and discovering your own wisdom, then you are in the right place. I am here to lead the way and help you discover your intuitive connection. Hello, my friend, and welcome to this special holiday edition of the Intuitive Healing Connection. I am here today to help you find better ways to get through the holiday season without feeling stressed out and not wanting to show up, be around family, and to really help you have the best possible outcome for yourself. So today I'm going to share some tips and some things with you that I have learned over the years to help me get through the holiday season a little bit easier. As we are on our healing journey, the holidays can really trip us up if we let them. But today I want to share ways with you that you don't have to get all tripped up. And you don't have to be reactive. You can be in control, feeling the very best that you can possibly feel, and enjoy it as much as you desire to, as much as you want to. And so I want to help you do that today. But first of all, let's talk about what we think the holidays are supposed to be all about. You know, I think with the media, with movies, I was watching Deck the Halls last night, and it's funny what we think the holidays are supposed to be about. And we're supposed to have this lovely feeling in our heart, and everything is wonderful, and we get along with our family, and we have plenty of money to go buy all the gifts that we want to buy. And we just have this kind of a fascination with what we think the holiday season really is supposed to be about. Not only that, if you had that one special Christmas that stood out for you as a parent, maybe you're trying to recreate that every year for our kids. And the more we try to step into that, the more frustrating it becomes. We feel like we got to do all these things in order to recreate that. I want to help you step out of all of that today. We think the holidays are merry and bright, that somehow all the things from our past should magically melt away, and our hearts are filled with love and joy, and that we have this healing feeling coming over us. We have this fascination that we can buy all these magical gifts, and we drink eggnog, maybe spiked if you need a little more magic to your season, hot chocolate, that the kids will be well behaved every second of the day, all month long, of course, because Santa's coming. We have this fascination that maybe our relationships should feel magical. We should feel more connected to people. We should get along better. There's all of these things that trip us up, especially just like I was saying, if you've watched, the holiday movies, everybody falls in love. They have a little bit of drama, but, it all turns out this magical moment at the end. And sometimes it's not always like that. When in reality, it seems to be the complete opposite of all of that. We feel stressed out. We can feel like we have these expectations placed upon us, and that we have to do all these things. We have to show up to all the parties. We're supposed to, become Betty Crocker and bake these magical treats and gifts and have people over, all the Christmas parties. Sometimes we want to just yell, stop, because it feels like a lot. And if you are listening to me and maybe you're feeling this now, it just feels overwhelming. And not only that, we're supposed to be in this season of giving. If the pocketbook's a little tight, that can feel a little stifling. I know that there's parts of us, all of us, want to be out there giving and doing our very best, but sometimes that can feel hard, especially with inflation going on this year. Everything's costing a whole bunch more money than it has in the past, and it can make things very, very stressful. Not only that, let's add the family get-togethers and bringing these people in who literally trigger the shit out of you. We'll just say it just like it is. I know that all of you have those people in your family that literally can say one thing and they have pushed all of your buttons and you are all upset and they're looking at you like, what's your problem? You know, these families, a lot of our triggers come from growing up and being in these family situations. And as we get around everybody more during the holiday season, you know, we want to get along, but we can have our buttons pushed really easy. If you can relate to all of this, well, listen on, because I'm going to share some insight with you today on the way that I have learned to view these things and give you some practical advice as well as some healing advice. And, you know, of course, take what works for you, and what doesn't, that's okay too. Recently, I've been listening to a lot of Michael Singer's works in The Untethered Soul and some other things that he has done. And one thing that he talks about in there is how impossible it is to recreate these moments for ourselves. You know, if you're out looking at a beautiful landscape and you see that and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to recreate that again, it's really hard to go back and recreate that exact scenario. And moments in our lives are just like that. We have these moments where we think, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And we can spend a lifetime trying to recreate that. But just like in looking at a beautiful landscape or having a grateful moment, it's really hard to recreate those exact same moments every day in our life. And this is my number one tip, is really learning to be present in the moment. Letting go of the expectations, letting go of the past of what you think Christmas is going to be like, good, bad, or otherwise, and just allowing these things to happen for yourself. So when we stay in the present, let go of the past, it will help things run and feel so much better to us. And having an understanding, knowing that we're recreating new moments every day. One story that popped into my head as I was thinking about this is actually at the beginning of this year, at the time that I recorded this is December of 2022, we spent New Year's Eve in Guatemala City. And we spent New Year's Eve flying, and it was a mess. But we made it to Guatemala City about 11:30. We finally got to our room, laid down in bed, and didn't even really think about it. We were so tired. We had been traveling for many hours, and we were tired. And my husband and I laid down in bed, and all of a sudden we hear these big booms and a lot of racket going on outside. And, you know, we're in a different country. And so our room happened to have a big balcony on it. And we opened up the curtains and we looked out, and there was the most magical moment I have ever seen. There were fireworks all over Guatemala City, and I could see all of them by standing on this balcony. And it was amazing to watch big fireworks. It wasn't these little tiny, it was like a professional fireworks show that you would see here in the US. And it literally probably lasted for 30 or 40 minutes. It went on for the longest. Now, for me to recreate that moment will never happen again. But I stood there, my husband and I both stood there and just watched this fireworks show go on. We even joked about how they knew we were here now and they were celebrating our arrival, just to be funny. But it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. For me to go recreate that moment again probably wouldn't happen. It's not going to happen. Being at the right place at the right time, being awake, seeing that, it truly was a magical moment. And for me, I've imprinted that in my heart. I take it with me, knowing that I'll probably never see anything like that again. But I got to see it then. And that's kind of how we can look at this Christmas holiday season, the Christmas season, however you want to call that. So embracing the feelings that you are feeling and letting go of the past can help us stay in the present when we are going through these kind of things. So if you can understand that expectation, you know, especially as a parent, if you had, like I was talking about earlier, that magical Christmas, that one Christmas, and, you know, we could spend thousands of dollars and stressful nights trying to recreate that moment for our kids. That was our magical moment. And yes, we can want to have more magical moments. But when we understand that just like creating the landscapes, just like doing all these things, that it's impossible to recreate the exact moment again, but we get the opportunity to create the new moments that we desire in our life. If we can let go of the expectations of being in that very moment and just allow ourselves to create new moments, create new places every year, every moment of every day. The holiday season doesn't have to look like these fairy tale movies or these Hallmark shows that we watch. It's like, oh, a little drama, and then we come back to, it's not always going to look that way. But if you can allow yourself to step into what it is and be in the present moment, you will feel much better about what's going on. The next thing I want to talk about is your family is going to trip you up. You're probably going to get all tripped out. After all these triggers have been created by our families, these triggers were put in place, not knowingly, but because of the beliefs and the thoughts that we created as we were growing up, those things tend to re-trigger us over and over again if we haven't healed those parts of ourselves. As we do our healing work, oh my gosh, it gets so much easier to be around family. I can just tell you that right now. It gets so much easier to be around family if you can allow those things to be healed. If you can go through the healing process, heal those triggers for yourself. Triggers really are just an opportunity for healing. But we don't always look at it that way because we want to blame everyone that is in our lives. We want to blame those around us for, they get me all triggered up. They just say those things. They do it just to push on my buttons and get me all uptight. The thing that we have to do here is we have to take responsibility for our feelings. And this is where I'm going to kind of call you to the plate of healing, because it makes being around family a whole lot easier if you will do your healing work. People around us are not going to change. They're not going to, and they may change, they may do their healing work. I shouldn't say it like that. But people around us, we cannot expect them to say the right things, to do the right things all the time so that we don't get all reactive. The whole part of healing is to step out of this reactive zone and step into choosing how you want to show up, how you want to act in these situations, and really not getting triggered by all of these people around you. But we have to take responsibility for where we're at. If you haven't started your healing journey, that's okay. It comes as we're ready. And if you have and you're still getting a little bit tripped up, that's okay too. It just means that there's some more work to do. So the second tip that I have is your family is going to trip you up. It is going to happen. They are going to trigger you. The chances of this happening are probably very high. The thing that I want you to remember is those triggers were created as you grew up with these people. And I'm talking about your immediate family, maybe some of your extended family. Maybe your triggers haven't come from that extended family, but there may be things that you have brought into your life energetically with this other family that still trip you up. If you haven't watched my podcast on relationships, I would highly encourage you to go do that, because I talk a lot in there about how all the relationships in our life are for our healing and our growth if we allow it to happen. And so all these family relationships, honestly, are for our healing and our growth. These people signed contracts with you, sold contracts with you to come and help you do your healing work, which means they're probably going to trigger the shit out of you. This is part of the deal. I don't know how else to say it. It is part of the deal. But the thing is a family life isn't easy. In fact, it can be very stressful. It can be complicated. Maybe you're not associating with some of your family. Maybe you only see them during the Christmas season, and it really trips you out just to see them those few hours every year. Maybe you have a close family, but it still is rough, and there's a lot that goes on inside. There's a lot of different family dynamics. But the first thing I want you to think about inside of this, really, these triggers, is taking responsibility for your actions. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. We have to step up to the plate and realize we are adults now, and that we can choose to be reactive. We can choose to take a deep breath and control ourselves a little bit more, and remember that we have some things to heal inside of us. Not everybody around us is going to tiptoe just like we want them to and say the perfect things and do the perfect things, and we need to understand that. This world is not going to march to your drum. It is your responsibility to do your healing work so that you don't get so triggered. Now, during the holiday season, that's real rough. They're going to trip you up. To me, just accepting that that's probably part of the deal is a good place to start. Just knowing that, okay, you know what, it's probably going to happen. And when it does, I'm going to take a big deep breath. I'm going to understand that it's just part of the deal. The thing that I like to remember too is usually what they said was not about me. Our ego wants to make it about us. Our triggers want to make it about us. Our triggers want to say, look, she's doing it again. Look how rude. Look how disgusting. Did you just hear that comment again? You can take a deep breath, stand back, and understand that not everything is about you. Not everything is something for you to react to. You know, a lot of times I like to just go home and journal about my feelings. I don't really even bring it up with them because I know that if it triggered something inside of me, it's because I have some work to do. And so I like to come home and do a little journaling about it. And I ask myself, what was the past thing that created this feeling for me or this belief? And if you're triggered, ask what's going on in your life now. This is part of the healing journey. You know, we can really, if you'll ask yourself the questions and allow yourself to free write. When I do this journaling exercise, I just start with whatever comes to my head and I just write it down and I'm scribbling it. You can't even read it. It doesn't even matter. I'm misspelling words all over the place and it doesn't matter. But the act of just allowing yourself to express your feelings, you'll get to the answers, I promise you. It's almost like we have to shut down that mind chatter a little bit, shut down that bitching and moaning. Yeah, she did this. She made me feel that way. When she said that, I got all upset. It's all her fault, his fault, whoever. You can write all those feelings down. And then usually if you'll keep going, you'll discover where this all came from for you. Because I love to ask myself, so where did this feeling begin? Where did I decide that when people said that or acted that way or did that one thing, whatever it is for you, you know what that is. When did I decide that that was a problem for me? What does that trigger inside of me? What is it? And a lot of times it comes down to our shadow sides. You know, maybe it brings up fear. Maybe it brings up those abandonment feelings. Whatever it is, but you can journal about them. And as you journal about them, you're letting that energy go. We have to realize that not everything is about everyone else, and we have to really just take a step back and take responsibility for our own actions. It's so important to be self-aware and stop blaming everyone around us for our feelings. They're not responsible for your feelings. You are. Now, as humans, we have feelings every day. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of thoughts every day. Most of them, believe it or not, are on loop. And if you listen to the old record players, you know how sometimes it'd get stuck on the needle and it'd just keep playing that part over and over and over again. If I got a scratch in the record, that shows you how old I am. Actually, my parents had the record player, but if we get stuck in that loop, which our minds have a tendency to do, we have taught them very well. We have programmed our minds very well. When we feel this way, this is a thought, the process that comes in. When we have these feelings, when we get scared, when someone triggers us, this is what happens. We have to learn to be self-aware of that and understand what's going on. We can blame the world for the way that we act and how we react, or we can start taking responsibility, which is the healer's way, and start realizing that it is about us. We have some healing work to do. These people are here to help us do that healing work. And we need to embrace it as part of our healing journey. Most of the time, it's not going to be pretty, but you can give yourself the opportunity to become more self-aware. And when you do this, it releases that energy inside, and I promise you, you will feel so much better. You will be more open to hear what other people say and not always be on the defense. You'll be more open to just let it roll off instead of if you're the family drama queen, not calling anybody out, instead of ripping somebody's head off, you'll just be more willing to just let it roll off because you understand that's their deal. You're not going to allow it to trigger you up. And we just know that we've got to drop the expectations and just allow this to happen. So the next tip that I like to give you is spend some time every morning really seeing the kind of day that you want to have. You can visualize that day for yourself. What do you want this season to look like? What do you want this day to look like for yourself? What do you want the week to look like? What do you want it to look like for your kids? And really keeping those expectations for you, what you want it to feel like for yourself. When we do this, it really lines us up with the universe to bring in that type of energy. And I like to focus on how it should feel, how I want it to feel. Now, I do this a lot, well, in my everyday life. How do I want my business day to look? When we travel, I spend a lot of time doing this because I like to line myself up with what I want it to feel like, what I want it to look like. And it has always happened for me. I will start weeks in advance feeling my vacation go with ease. Those of you who have been listening to me for a while or with me on Facebook or Instagram know that I travel a lot. My husband and I love to travel. We travel internationally quite a bit. This year we've been to several places already. I just looked at my Google timeline and I've been around the world twice this year, and it's not quite the end of the year yet, which is super cool. But I also know that sometimes we can get kind of in, with traveling, there comes the unknown. And so I really spend time several weeks in advance visualizing what I want my vacation to look like, how I want it to feel, how I want my bags to show up when I get there, how I want to feel while I'm on the trip. We go a lot. We don't go to sit on some beach, at least not usually. I don't spend a lot of time sitting on the beach. We go to see different sites. So we're up early every day. We're usually going to bed later. We have some really, really, really long days. And I see myself on this vacation feeling very good, having everything that we need, visualize putting my luggage on the airplane, checking my bag, and picking it up in the city that we land in, and really just spend that time. How do I want to feel on this vacation? I want to enjoy our time. I want to be able to enjoy the sights. I want to have energy to feel like I can walk all day and do the things that I want to do. And we can do the same thing for our holiday season. I promise you, if you'll spend time every day just really thinking about what you want it to feel like, you'll create that. The universe will go, oh my gosh, I know what she wants. That's very specific. I got it. And it will line up for you. And if you can let go of the expectations of how you think that's going to happen, just set in the moment of what it's going to feel like for you. You're not worried about anybody else's expectations. This isn't even about your kids. This is simply just about you and what you want it to feel like. So if you'll do that, try that and see what happens. And see if you can't stay in that energy, the feelings that you want to feel. Now, I tried here. I want it to feel amazing. And so that's the energy that I set in. And imagine myself feeling that. As you do that, you'll just bring it naturally into your life and it will happen for you. All right. And so the next one, let go of what others want it to look like and feel like. Sometimes we get these expectations placed upon us, and they're not really our expectations. And they're not really our expectations, but we get them placed upon us and we feel like that's what we have to do. If there's some things that you don't want to do with the Christmas traditions, don't do it. If it doesn't feel aligned with who you are and what you want to do, I remember several years ago, I hate doing Christmas cards. I just don't enjoy doing that. Now, I like writing handwritten Christmas cards to my clients and to people that I've worked with. I love just sending them a little Christmas message, thanking them for being with me for the year. But I'm talking about like the family things where we got to go get our pictures taken. And I did photography for several years. And every year I was like, oh my gosh, we got to go do this again. I finally just let it go. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is not something that I need to do as part to make my life complete. This is not something I even want to do anymore to make my life complete. And I finally just let it go. Now it's a lot easier. It's just my husband and I. The kids are all off as adults. We don't do that every year. Maybe some year I'll do it for us. I don't know. But it's really just letting that go and understanding that that doesn't line up with who I am and that doesn't feel good. And it's okay. So create the things that you want, let go of the expectations of others, the things that you don't want. Just because there are a lot of traditions with Christmas Even if you've had family traditions, if you're creating your own family traditions and it doesn't feel good to you, do something else. Really line up with what you want to do. Give yourself that space. Now, I understand we probably have family parties and things that get together that are traditional. Those, fill it out. Maybe you can make suggestions if it doesn't work for you anymore. I don't know. But especially the point that I'm talking about here is really letting go of those traditional things that don't line up with who you are. All right, the next one, and you'll laugh, this is a very practical one. Do not overspend. Do not. There's enough stress and enough things going on without worrying about how you're going to pay for it later. I think we get caught up in this perfect gift and we feel like we have to spend lots and lots of money in order to bring happiness and joy to people. I think with COVID and everything that's happened recently, I think we're all kind of backtracking. We've got some inflation things going on, but give yourself the freedom to stay within your budget, whatever that is for you, whatever that looks like for you, whatever works for you, whatever you feel safe and secure doing. What happens when we overspend? There's a spiritual side to this of overspending. And when we do that, our root chakra gets all out of balance. It's like getting you're inflamed, is how I would describe it. This energetic system gets all out of balance because that root chakra gets off, and then we feel like crap. You've heard me talk before about everything starts energetically first and then moves out into the physical symptoms that we're having. This is one of those things where it can stop. When we overspend and get our root chakra all bent out of shape, when we don't feel safe and secure in the world that we live in, we don't know how we're going to pay our bills, that is not a safe feeling. That is not security. And when we don't feel that safety and security, we kind of fly off the handle. Your energy system flies off the handle. You cannot make good decisions from that place. You cannot set in this holiday spirit feeling at peace when you know that you don't know how you're going to pay your bills when it's all done. You know where you feel safe and secure. I would encourage you to set with yourself. How much money do you need to have in the bank to feel safe? How much money feels good to you coming in every month? How much money feels good to you to spend on Christmas? Now, there's nothing wrong with putting it out there to the universe that we need some money to do what we want to do. That is perfectly acceptable. But knowing that we have this amount of money to spend and this is where I feel safe, that is honoring you. That is honoring your energetic system. I know most of us love giving and we love doing those things, but don't get caught up in the expectation of you have to do these things. Do what feels comfortable for you. Learn to listen to yourself. Learn to stay in that little bit of that safety zone for yourself so that you don't get your energetic system all wound up and out of balance. Okay, and the last couple of things actually, balance your energy system every day. As we're talking about this, spend time every day balancing your chakras, taking 5 minutes in the morning to clear out your energy field and really balancing your chakras, spending a minute just breathing and really bringing your system back into peace. When you do this every day, I promise you, you will feel better. You will feel more imbalanced. You will feel more alive, and things won't feel as heavy and stressful for you. When we allow our bodies to get all out of whack, we are not making good decisions from that place. You're not going to feel any peace and joy and love with what's going on. We have to take care of our energetic system. We have to take care of our bodies. So things like meditation are perfect for doing this. If you tell me you can't meditate, you can breathe for 3 minutes. Focus on your breath. That's all you have to do. Sit down, close your eyes, listen to yourself breathe. Shut that mind down. It's going to wander and you're going to bring it back and remind it to come back, and you're just listening to yourself breathe. If you want to, bring in some gratitude while you breathe. Be grateful for that breath that you're taking and you're still here in order to have these opportunities that you're having today. So you can take time to breathe. If you will get out in nature, this will naturally balance your energetic system. This grounds us and helps us feel better. A short walk, being outside. I know it's kind of cold right now, but you can find time. You can find, I like going during the day when the sun's out. I don't enjoy, my husband goes in the morning. I don't enjoy doing that. It's too dang cold these days. But I like going later when the sun's out. It's a nice sunshiny day. It's beautiful to go take a walk. We have lots of snow around. It is kind of chilly here, but it's beautiful out there when you do that. So find time to do some meditation, clear out your energy system. If you want some meditations to help you do this, I have a whole bunch of guided meditations inside of my meditation vault that is included when you join my private membership. You can come in and join that membership. You can listen to clearing meditations every day. I have 47, probably more than that now, healing and clearing meditations inside of that vault. You can take your pick. You can listen to whatever you want. Literally taking 10 or 15 minutes a day to stop, plug in your headphones, and listen to that will make such a huge difference in your life. It will help you clear out your energy, help you feel more in line and more in tune with what's going on around you, help you be grounded and find those peaceful feelings every day. And when you feel better, your family will feel better. And you guys have all heard the saying, when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So if mommy is bitchy and moany, guess what's going to happen? The kids are going to feel bitchy and moany too. I'm sure that you have all seen that. So if we can spend the time to help ourselves feel really good, to be in that space of gratitude that we want to spread out into the world, I promise you, your house will feel better, your relationships will feel better, things will feel easier if you'll spend a little bit of time taking care of yourself every single day. During these stressful times, we need to do that even more than what we normally do. If you're not doing that now, I would highly encourage you to come up with some sort of ritual or something that you do every day so that you can take a minute to slow down, come back to your breath, come back to being in your own body and really finding ways to control your stress a little bit and really taking care of yourself, taking care of your energy field. So when you do this, this will bring in the greatest joy for you. You'll just feel better doing it. So I highly encourage you to do that. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. Find a way to let go of some of the stress and really just enjoy this time with your family. That's really what the holiday season is all about. Whether that family is your immediate family, all of your extended family, whatever, maybe it's just your friends that you consider family. That's really, to me, what the holiday season is all about. And if you look at it from a religious point of view, that's fine. You know, whatever it is for you, whatever you feel like it should be for you. But know that you get to choose what you want to do, and you get to choose how you want it to feel. And you get to choose how it looks, what the presents look like, what the religious things look like, whatever it is for you, you get to choose those traditions. Give yourself permission to do that. Give yourself permission to step out of what everybody else thinks you should do and step into what you want to do. This is a big part of healing, is understanding, what do I want? When we never ask ourselves that question, we do everything for everybody else. That's where we build up these resentments and this hate towards other people. So if you can allow yourself to step into this place of, what do I want? What do I want it to look like? I think most of you that are listening to me are all adults now, so you get to choose how you want that to feel and what you want it to look like. So give yourself permission to do that and step in this place of doing you. So I hope this has been helpful today. I wish you a very, very, very Merry Christmas, very happy holidays, and I'm excited to hear about your experiences. If something that I've said for you today has helped you, leave me a comment. You can send me an email. You can leave me a comment in the comment section below. I would love a review as well if you feel so inclined to leave a review and let other people know of your experience. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. Very, very Merry Christmas to you, and enjoy your holiday season. May you find more peace, more joy, more love, and enjoy stepping into the new year. So I can't wait to see you all again. I'll talk to you all very soon, and bye-bye for now. I sincerely hope you enjoyed today's episode. I love connecting with my people. So if you would like to get in touch with me, you can email me at ginastroll@ginastroll.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram and on YouTube as Gina Stroll Intuitive Healing. And of course, if you have any interest in anything that we talked about today, all of my stuff is available on my website at ginastroll.com. And again, thank you for joining me, and I can't wait for us to connect up again. Have a great day.